Do you have any of those now? Like that you used to believe?
Yeah, like I think I've come a long way, but I mean, one of the ones that always kind of sticks with me is milk. Right? Like I know you've seen the ads, that Got Milk campaign.
Yeah.
Milk's going to give you these strong, healthy bones. We know that that's not necessarily the best choice for healthy bones, right?
What up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Strong, Well-Fed, and Outspoken. My name is Rusty, aka Coach Frizzle, aka the Miss Frizzle of Fitness, and I'm here with my girl,
the co-hostess with the mostest, the most attitude, the most appetite. It's Coach Nell.
I thought you were gonna say something like the most attitude with like the batitude or something like that. I was waiting for it.
Yeah, well, sometimes my brain short circuits, and I was like, now I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. This is going to be a running theme if you guys are just tuning in for the first time, because this is a really good episode. Nell is going to be introducing herself in a new way every time. So
every single time. I once had a drama teacher say, if you're just lost in the moment and you forget where you're going, that's a good thing because you're committed to whatever you're doing in that exact second. I was like, you know what? Okay, that makes me feel better about spacing out in public.
Yeah. There is no restart button. You're in it. You're committed. You're going. How long did you take drama?
So, fun fact about me is I actually went to a performing arts high school.
Oh.
Yes, that's why I'm so dramatic.
Yeah. Drama.
Yeah, queen of the drama. And so I dabbled in the fine arts for quite a while.
That's cool. Did you have to apply for that, like in high school?
Yeah, sure did. I had to do the whole triple threat audition process. I had to write a report about why I was the best option for them to put in their team.
That's crazy. That's really, no, I know that that's intense. My sister went to a performing arts high school as well. She went for dance. So you went for acting?
Singing. I would like to say I'm great at memorizing lines, but I'm not. So,
dude, that's awesome. I didn't know you were like a singer like that.
I don't know that I would qualify myself as a singer, but yes, I wrote my grade 4 Royal Conservatory vocal exams. Like I'm a little bit of a big nerd still.
That's awesome though. That's actually legit. I always tell people I'm a singer because in my heart I am, but
I think everyone is a singer. Just like, right, everyone can work out, everyone's a singer.
Totally.
It's okay to fail. It's okay to be bad at things. What do we call it when our drama troupe? Wrong and strong.
Wrong and strong. Yo, I like that.
That's the approach you take with a lot of things. Like, it's okay to be bad at something. It's okay to get it wrong the first time, but you just go in and do it anyways.
Yeah, 100%. Everybody starts off being
great because I think we're going to talk about all the things we did wrong in today. A lot of our eating. Yeah.
But actually, that's so funny about the performing arts. I did not go to a performing arts high school. I went to
which is funny because I would peg you as one of us.
Well, I took drama all 4 years.
There it is.
Yeah. So I was going to say, I'm like, it was one of those things. And I'm actually so glad I did. When I started high school, I was like, again, like if you listen to our first episode, I talked about this, right? But no confidence at all, like just very awkward, but did it anyways. And I was so happy I did because honestly, I contribute drama to like building my confidence as well because it was
the way you present information is like that. Honestly, that's how I found you. Is like, I'm like, oh, this girl is not afraid to say the truth.
Yeah.
And do the research to get there. And I think like that
sometimes.
Yeah. And you know what? Sometimes, you got to put it out there and just hope for the best because literally you can have the best intentions. It might not be received that way, right?
Yeah, totally. But no, I love drama. And like the people that I don't know if you found this, but then the people you go through all those years with, because our drama class, a lot of people did it like just as a fun elective, but then it got more serious as the years went on. So people cut it. But like the ones we went through all the years with, it was so cool because it was just such a like safe space for us. I don't know, whatever, outcasts.
No, 100% safe space. And I hope that that's what this podcast is too. Maybe it's our own little drama club.
Yeah, honestly. So on that note, guys, we are diving into a little bit of a reality check episode because let's be real here. A lot of you guys are putting in work. A lot of you guys are showing up and you're not getting progress. And this is a question we both get a lot, right? Like, I've been going to the gym for 6 months. I've been dieting, or I've been watching my food and watching what I eat, and I'm not seeing any progress. What should I do? And the very tough titty truth for a lot of you guys is that you might be showing up, but there's a difference between showing up and putting in work. And there's a difference between showing up and actually getting results because you're putting in the right work. And some of you guys, this is unintentional, right? You literally are trying your best. And so we know how frustrating that is to be trying your best and still not seeing progress. And some of you are on the other end of the spectrum. You are justifying your lack of progress by continually saying, I'm putting in work, but you know you're not actually showing up for yourself or your diet or your workouts the way you should be. So today's episode is 5 reasons why you are not making progress, food habit edition. Okay. This is going to be a 2-parter. So today's food habits. Our next episode is going to be why you're not making progress, and common training issues, mistakes, habits that we see. But today is all about your food, your nutrition. I think there's going to be some good ones in here that a lot of you guys probably weren't even aware of. That might be the reason, again, why you're not making progress, or the thing that's
Or
holding you.
maybe you're feeling a little bit called out. And that is kind of why we're here, because there is love in the truth.
Yeah, right. Like we said, strong, well-fed, and outspoken, guys. So let's talk about some food habits here and the things that are not serving you well. So the first one we're going to start off with is literally our mental beliefs around food. Okay. So when we literally look at this at its core, the foods you believe are healthy versus unhealthy. Yeah.
Yes.
We all have them, right? Like
100%.
we can talk about, there's no such thing as like good and bad food and healthy and unhealthy. But at the end of the day, we all have deeply ingrained habits where somewhere inside we associate certain foods as like, oh, this won't cause me to gain weight because it's healthy. And if you're not
Air
watching
quotes. Air quotes.
Exactly.
We need a sound. You know how like on the radio they play like a sound? We need an air quote one.
Yeah. Exactly. But like we all have them. Like, and I think
100%.
a lot of this is actually comes back to how we were raised, right? Like you guys, the way your family, the way your parents led you to believe certain foods were is probably how you still see them nowadays. Or marketing, or, you know, the shows we watched growing up, the commercials we saw, the things on the radio, in food magazines, whatever it is, there are things you believe are healthy and therefore are not going to be what causes you to gain weight. Do you have any of those, Mel? Like that you used to believe?
Yeah, like I think I've come a long way, but I mean, one of the ones that always kind of sticks with me is milk, right? Like I know you've seen that Got Milk campaign.
Yeah.
Milk's going to give you these strong, healthy bones. We know that that's not necessarily the best choice for healthy bones, right? Don't get me wrong. I have milk in my diet, but it is not this all amazing bone builder that we were led to believe, right? But we were told you got to drink the milk as a teenager or you're going to literally melt away.
Yeah, literally. Oh my gosh. No, I grew up drinking like
gallons.
I remember drinking water. I drank milk all the time.
Yes.
I would go to friends' houses and parents would be like,
Glass
what do you want to drink? And I'd be like, milk. Yeah, it's crazy. And actually, like, milk in and of itself is pretty calorically dense, especially, you know, back then. And again, like, if you're drinking actually whole malt milk, which is what I would recommend because way more nutrients, there's a lot of nutrients, but that doesn't change the fact that there's a lot of calories and fat.
Let's think about it. Are you the size of a small cattle? No.
Yeah.
Right? It's there to fatten up baby cows.
Yeah.
Right?
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
A big one for me growing up was, and I'm still a fish lover, but like growing up, fish was always very much touted as healthy. And it is, like, you guys, like, we're not talking about in this episode, when we talk about healthy versus unhealthy, we're not talking about food guilt or shame.
Yeah. And we're not villainizing food here.
Exactly.
Just stating that it doesn't necessarily fit what you think it is.
Yeah, and we're talking about foods that are more nutrient dense versus less nutrient dense. Okay, so when we're looking at things like salmon and trout and sardines and things like that, if anyone knows what gefilte fish is, it's a Jewish dish. I actually hated it growing up. Disgusting. But again, fish was like a big part of our household and a lot of fattier fishes. Very nutrient dense, but always like, but this is so healthy and like, no problem, eat as much as you want. Even honestly, peanut butter growing up was very much, and I personally blame my family for my love of peanut butter because it was, like peanut butter and, oh, here's another one, honey. Peanut butter and honey sandwiches, man, I got those so much as a kid. And it was always like, this is a nice, healthy lunch with a glass of milk with that. And you're literally talking about like the most, like just so much fat in one meal, so many fats and carbs, peanut butter, honey, bread, milk. Like, where is the protein? There was none. But, growing up, there's just so many beliefs. And you guys, wherever you're listening to this, you can probably think of some that you had growing up, foods that were touted as healthy. And I think we carry those now with us.
100%. Yeah, for my family, my mom, bless her heart, but once a year we would do sugar free, right?
Okay.
We know that sugars are not evil, right? And
Yeah.
do you need to have a lot of like highly processed sugars in your life? Probably not. But as a 11-year-old, I kind of had this like all sugar is bad mentality because of that habit that we did as a family, right? And that was something I really had to unlearn because I believed that if I didn't eat sugars, it would be healthier. Or if I only ate organic, it would be healthier.
Yep, absolutely. So, one thing that we see all the time when we're talking to clients, and even just again, people on our social media, is this belief of, but I'm really eating healthy, people will say, right? Maybe you're not tracking your calories, you're not following a specific nutritional plan, but you'll say, I'm eating very healthy. And I think a lot of the time there's great intention behind that because you guys are focusing on maybe more nutrient dense foods. But the thing you have to keep in mind is that usually nutrient dense foods are also pretty high in calorie. Again, when we're talking about things like, as I mentioned, fattier fishes, whatever it is, right? You might be eating healthier and now you are eating for breakfast something like eggs. We were talking about this earlier. Eggs and, potatoes and maybe even a little bit of turkey bacon. And you're like, man, that's such a great, and it is, you got some fiber, you got some veggies, you got healthy fats, but you know what? It's also likely going to be higher calorie than you realize. And at the end of the day, calories are always what is going to impact our overall progress here, whether we're talking about weight gain or weight loss, right? So if you are living your life based off the mentality of this is healthy and therefore I can eat it and I don't have to worry as much about how much of it I'm eating, you are likely hindering your progress.
Yeah, you're unintentionally intaking more calories than you realize. I get it a lot. I ordered a salad at dinner instead of a burger.
Yeah.
Oftentimes those salads actually have more calories in them than the burger themselves. They have a lot of other things, micronutrients and things like that. But in your mind, you're saying, I had a salad, I should be losing weight, or I should be, whatever your goal is. That's not what actually happens in your body, right?
Yes, exactly. Actually, a salad is such a big one. We see it all the time. So the question at the end of the day is, when you're thinking about the foods you eat right now, are you living your life based off of this is healthy, so therefore it is going to support my goals mentality? Or are you getting real with yourself still on what it is you're eating, likely how much is in it? And the reality is, if you haven't spent time, and we'll kind of get into this in one of our later points, but if you haven't spent time learning more about food and possibly even tracking your food for a period of time, you likely also just don't know and you don't realize. And this is where it could be an unintentional way you are hindering yourself. So, number one, if you're living based off of a it's healthy mentality in terms of how you assess your food, you are likely hindering yourself in some way. And honestly, let me just say here on the flip side, like if you're in a bulk and you're living your life based off of an it's healthy, but you've actually spent years likely under eating, you're probably still hindering your goals because
She's
you're
talking
probably
about me, you guys. She's talking about me.
yeah,
No, because
exactly.
I did a bulk with you and as my coach, and there was a point there where I'm like, I can't eat any more food. Like
Yeah,
I'm gonna give up here. And you said to me, like, are you still eating high volume, low calorie? I was like, yeah, of course. That's how I know
yeah,
how to eat. And you're like, girl, eat some full fat stuff.
yeah. Can you please slap some butter on this shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
So
100%.
yeah.
So
So
again,
I think we should probably roll into number two
number
because
two.
that I was stuck in that like trusting marketing,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And so
Mhm.
number two is not just your preconceived notions, right? Or if it's healthy, I'm good. Are you being told that it's
Yeah,
something by the grocery store? Your grocery
yeah,
store is lying to you.
yes. Literally, guys, number two is the stores, any grocery store, they are lying to you.
Liars.
Literally. Oh my gosh, the amount of foods that are going to say high protein and are not. Nell was saying earlier, this is like her rage fix.
This one, like if I want to get mad, if I have to fight someone, I'm going to go
Yeah.
in the grocery store and look for high protein labels and then get fired up and go.
Yeah, yeah, it's insane. When I was traveling in Asia this past year, and like they're really like it's a different world. So I kind of don't fault them, but I had picked up this protein bar that they had at the store, and it said high protein, and it was literally like two or 3 grams of protein in the
Yes.
entire thing, and I was like, bro,
Even
what?
here, like
Yeah.
the Vector bars, high in protein. I'm like,
Oh,
5 grams,
cereal
Matt, like
children.
4 grams. What is
Yeah.
that?
I know. And then also on that note, guys, actually, like even some of the protein pastas out there, if you guys are spending the money on like the Barilla and the Banza protein pasta, because it is more money. And you know why? Because their marketing is that it's high protein. You guys, it is almost the exact same amount of protein as any other pasta. It's maybe 1 gram of protein more, but majority of the other pastas are pretty much the exact same
Mhm.
grams of protein. They're a little bit higher calorie still. I think I've looked at a few that are like, a few grams more in carbs, but like we're talking a difference of like 5 grams of carbs. So like 20 calories.
Yep.
Stop believing the marketing. Let's talk about some
This
other
one, I'm going to put Quest on blast too. The Quest,
Quest is
like
worst.
chocolate, almond butter, like peanut butter cups,
Yeah.
almost identical to a Reese's Pieces.
Yeah, the worst. Honestly, I have such a bone to pick with Quest and like their protein bars that remember the years we spent microwaving them,
I know.
ourselves
Like, it's better this way.
Oh my gosh. Like we actually had ourselves believing that if you could microwave cardboard, it would be tasty. Just the worst.
But that's
also,
exactly, we were being lied to in the sense that
Yeah.
we're like, this
It's
is the
healthy.
healthy choice.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And actually on that note, brands like Quest and other brands as well. Actually, no, I'll save this one because it'll kind of get into our next one. But other labels that are convincing you that the food is healthy and therefore going to support your goals. So high protein, when a lot of the time it's not.
Mhm.
Fats, right?
Yeah.
Especially if you grew up in the 90s where fats got like hated on
Villainized.
so hard. Yeah. So everything was like low fat or no saturated fats. First of all, let me just say right
Or
now.
only the healthy fats. That's my favorite on the margarine.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But when you're looking at things like that are like, oh, no saturated fats, that's still one I see really often. And like you need some saturated fats in your diet, especially actually if you're working on your hormone health, PSA, you want saturated fats in there. But yeah, the like no fat or low fat does not mean shit. It really doesn't.
Yeah, or the low carb or keto.
Yep.
Grab a keto pita or bread and look at the actual carb content on there.
I know, yeah, it's crazy. And gluten-free as well. Like, listen, if you actually have a gluten intolerance, totally different story. You need to be
Absolutely.
eating a certain way. But a lot of people don't. Or a lot of people aren't even following keto, but they'll be like, oh, but it says, it's keto friendly or
gotta be
it's
better for me.
gluten-free. That's got to make it so much better. These companies, the grocery stores, they are lying to you. They do not have your best interest or your goals at heart. They have their money at heart.
Mm-hmm.
So number two is we really have to step away from the labels because again, right, when we talk about like healthy versus unhealthy, good food versus bad food, yes, those are our own mental labels we need to be aware of, but there is a whole other, I'm going to call it a pandemic of labels and food association that is just as toxic and is hindering your progress.
Absolutely. Just because something has something on like heart health or low fat, like be on the lookout for these things. That should not be the reason you reach for them and buy them. You should be reaching for a product and buying it because you like the flavor of it or you want to eat it, not because it is labeled as something somebody thought would be healthy sounding.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I love the heart health one. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
so and then if you actually look as well at the like ingredient list, and we're not people who like, are going to sit at the grocery store like those videos and be like,
Oh, I hate those.
Oh my gosh, great. But it is so ironic. I will call out companies though that go to the extent of making a claim like, oh, this is so good for you.
Mm-hmm.
This is so good for your heart. And then you look at the ingredients and you're like, half of this shit is literally like no contribution to your heart health. Like the ingredient deck is 30 ingredients long and there's nothing that is going to benefit you in any way.
Absolutely. Eating Cheerios not going to benefit your heart the same way going for a walk would.
Yeah. Totally. Or even Cheerios. I love Cheerios.
Oh,
still.
I love cereal. We're a team cereal here.
Yeah, but like it's not going to benefit your heart, let's say, more than another food will.
Exactly.
That's the thing. So number two, you got to watch out for those the grocery store and how they're depicting things to you.
Yeah.
And then that kind of playing into number three here, guys, we also need to watch out for labels in general.
Yeah.
So we're stepping away from the grocery store, stepping away from your own mindset and the labels we place on food, but like we're talking about the actual labels now. So
when you're picking up a product and you're looking at it, what is it saying and why this can be hindering your progress?
Yep. The nutritional facts, if you guys did not know this, definitely in the US, I believe in Canada as well, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think so too. Don't quote me on that though.
Yeah, we're going to double check that. But in the US, companies can print the nutrition facts and have them be anywhere from 5 to 20% off. Which means that you could be picking up a label and looking at it and being like, wow, this is so great for me, and it's saying that it's 150 calories or, 200 calories, and it could be 20% off, which
just
means
checked Canada's 22.
You check. Okay, there you go. 22. Bro.
No, 20 also. Sorry, 20 also.
Okay.
TOO.
That's awesome. But yeah, no, not awesome. They can literally be up to 20% off. That is,
which is a huge discrepancy,
right? It is just crazy when you think about, I could even understand if it is going to be like 5% off or so, but 20% is massive. But then on you go.
I was going to say, and on that same side, the actual food label, so it could be up to 20% off. But also, what is the serving size? Because the serving size is not necessarily what you intended to eat.
Yep.
Right? So that's the other thing you have to be looking at is if it says, 110 calories per serving, but the serving is a quarter cup and you're going to eat a whole cup or 2 cups.
Yeah.
It's not actually 120 calories of food that you're eating. It's a lot more.
Yep. And another really big one is kind of throwing Quest. This is like a...
I know. Did we plan to hate on some brands today? No. Maybe they'll sponsor us. This podcast is getting no brand sponsors.
Oh my gosh. But honestly, not just Quest. There are a ton of companies that do this where the label will purposely be incorrect because they are subtracting fiber from the overall calories and the overall carbs. This will be something we'll talk about more, but you guys, net carbs does not mean shit. it is not a real thing. So you need to track everything that's in there. And most labels, a lot of labels will be incorrect here because they are subtracting. First of all, they can be up to 20% off, but then they're also subtracting fiber.
Yes.
So when you are, tracking your food, okay, and we've talked about this already before, do not just use the barcode scanner on your app, and do not just use the label on the nutritional facts. Input the information yourself. Yeah. Because when you do that on a good macro tracking app, when you go to like add your own custom food and you literally write it in, the app will double check it as you click save and make sure that the calories like line up with what the macros are. Because very easy way to check that the calories are actually correct is to do the math on your macros. Because remember, your macros make up your calories. Mm-hmm. So the calories can be off, but if you're adding up your macros, then they will always equal the right calories. So
yeah, because carbs, proteins, and fats will always break down at the same rate. That's where that number comes from. So if you guys are new to this, that's where that number comes from. Mm-hmm. Is like a fat will always be the same amount of calories per gram, right?
Yep, exactly. Which kind of going back to our first point about healthy food and the mindset you have, it doesn't matter if you're getting fats from peanut butter or eggs or salmon or oil. 1 gram of fat is always going to be 9 calories.
9 calories, yeah.
1 gram of carbs, always going to be 4 calories. 1 gram of protein, same thing, always 4 calories. So very easy way for you guys to check if the labels are correct. Take the total protein listed, multiply it by 4. That's your calories from protein. Take the total amount of carbs listed, multiply it by 4. That's the amount of calories coming from carbs. Take the total fat, multiply it by 9. That's your calories from fat. Add all 3 of those together, and that will give you the true amount of calories in that serving or portion or item that you just bought. And that's the way to make sure that it is 100% correct. And as you guys get going here, I just actually did this breakdown with one of my clients because she said like, hey, like I'm hitting my calories, but I'm over on carbs. And we realized she was actually 200 calories over every single day because she was trusting the labels and they were incorrect.
And this is why a lot of people get frustrated with macro tracking. And this is why I'm sure you do too, spend so much time educating around how to actually do this. Because if you scan the barcode, also, if you scan your barcode, you're probably not getting any fiber listed. And you and I both know fiber is so important.
Yes. Some of you guys are like, oh man, I thought I ate some fiber, and like you're only logging like 6 grams a day, but it's because the barcode scanners a lot won't even put the fiber in there. So it's like, no, you're probably, some of you are literally only eating 6 grams a day, and like baby, we got to talk about that. But others, you are eating more. But again, I know it sucks at the beginning. You got to put more time in to put the stuff in your app, but it will be so worth it in the long run.
Yeah, wrong and strong, right? You're going to do it wrong until you get it right.
Yeah, 100%, man. And then, number 3, first 3 points, basically, look at that, is pretty much all about labels, whether it's our mindset, the grocery store, or the companies themselves.
Are you labeling something as good or bad or healthy or unhealthy? Are companies labeling it as that? Or are they labeling it in an incorrect way?
Yep, exactly. So rolling into number 4 here, guys, and this is going to be now more about our actions.
I'm taking a little U-turn to action, Bill.
Yeah. Let's talk about how many of us kind of, again, some of us consciously, some of us subconsciously, but live in the mindset of we follow a different diet, again, maybe unintentionally, but Monday to Friday. And then that weekend rolls around and all of a sudden we kind of live in that like, oh, I'm just going to enjoy myself a little bit more. I'm going to treat myself a little bit more. I'm going to, make healthy choices, but not actually track here. And that should be fine, right?
Yeah, the days on versus the days off.
Yep.
For me, it wasn't even like I would do great for the week and then I would blow it on the weekend. Yeah. I would blow it the same day. I'd be like, well, I was very careful with breakfast. Lunch was all planned out.
Yep.
I had a snack, and then I'm going to go out with my friends and eat and drink my face off.
Yep, absolutely. That weekend versus weekday mentality is huge. Listen, there's 7 days in a week, you guys. For some of you, you're literally taking two and a half, 3 days, right? You're out
Yeah.
Friday night, Saturday, Sunday. 3 days out of 7, we're talking is almost 50%
Almost 50%. Yeah,
of the
exactly.
week. And the thing is, we're going to be real here. We're not talking about you guys having a cookie on the weekend and you're like, I'm good. Because the reality is, yeah, you know what? You probably would still be good. But if we're getting real, majority of you are letting your foot off the gas in majority of ways all throughout your day come Saturday and Sunday. Is
Yep.
Saturday, you're going to get the fancy coffee today. Maybe you're going to get a little whipped cream on that. You're going out for breakfast and you're like, oh, hey, I'm having the same thing that I would normally have at home. I'm having eggs and potatoes. But now you went to a restaurant where they cooked everything in oil. And then, yeah, you got your coffee. Then maybe you even picked up a cookie at the coffee shop and you shared it with your kids. So you're like, oh, I only had 2 bites, but guess what? 2 bites of that crumble cookie is like 200
That's
calories.
a serving size. Yeah.
The other day that was like, hey, some crumble cookies, like the actual full cookie
It's a
is like
quarter of a cookie.
600
Yeah.
calories. It's insane. So yeah, you know what? Your 2 bites of a cookie is like 200 calories. And then you're going out for dinner
And you're getting a cocktail with dinner and maybe an appetizer. It's not
Yep.
just one meal, right? That one meal becomes your daily caloric intake, honestly.
That's the thing. There is nothing wrong, you guys, with having balance, okay? But we also need to be very real because if you're sitting or listening to this and saying, but I also want to enjoy my life, you need to ask yourself, okay, but on one hand, you're complaining about the results that you're not getting. And then on the other hand, you're saying, but I just want to enjoy myself. So you are literally living your life, walking this line between two things.
Yes.
And you are just going to keep spinning your wheels and getting frustrated Monday to Friday because you're not seeing progress, but then justifying how you're feeling by saying, I just want to live my life on the weekends.
Yeah, it sounds a little extreme, but you have to decide, do you want to be the hero of your story or do you want to be the villain? Because you can't keep switching back and forth.
No.
Nobody gets that storyline, right? You get to be one or the other, the good guy or the bad guy in your own story.
Exactly. And we're not saying you can't go and have a cocktail at dinner and share some apps and have a nice meal. Of course you can. Mm-hmm. But you also have to be honest with yourself with where you are and what you're prioritizing right now, right? Yeah. Are you in a phase where life is about, making memories? Baby, do your thing. But are you in a phase where you're like, I actually have some goals I want to accomplish? Because then guess what? Showing up for yourself is the best and the fastest way to actually accomplish those goals and actually develop a better relationship with food and yourself in the process of doing so. The best way to have balance is honestly, guys, to spend a period of time not having balance, truthfully.
Absolutely. Yeah. Dive in, do the hard work, learn, be uncomfortable in that learning. And then when you're confidently doing that consistently for a longer period of time, take small steps out of that, come right back in. Because you don't actually realize you're doing it until you've stopped doing it.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. So the weekend versus the weekday mentality is huge. If you're, again, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that's pretty much half of your week.
Yeah. And I do truly believe that if you're tracking, you will develop tools that will help you understand this, right? Because when we start out in our mind, it's we eat a meal, we eat a meal, we eat a meal, right? And that meal at home is probably fairly well balanced because you've possibly worked with someone to learn those tools and develop how to do that. But then you go and you order a pizza. Totally. Yes, it's still a meal, but you don't understand how that pizza breaks down as a whole and understand the difference in those two meals. So all your body and your brain see is we've eaten at lunch, we've eaten at dinner, but that's not what actually is happening.
No, for sure. And it's the same thing here, right? Some of you guys are listening, you're like, oh, well, I don't do that, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I just take Saturday. And sometimes depending, this can be very beneficial. We can still keep seeing progress, right? But it depends more how your diet is designed. There's a lot of people on both of our rosters that we literally design a day every single week to be off, let's say, plan. But again, that is still part of the plan then because it's designed to be that way.
And we work to that. I don't know, maybe you don't with your guys, but I'll start with a freedom meal. So And I suggest taking it during the weekday. You start during the weekday and you take one meal away from your plan.
Mhm.
Because if you're going out for lunch on a Wednesday, you're going to be a lot more reasonable than if you're going out for dinner on a Friday,
Yeah,
right?
probably. Let's be honest, probably. That weekend mentality is
Right.
very
And
real.
and pick your restaurants, right? Something I
Mhm.
often talk about is maybe don't go to a pub where beer is on tap and everything is deep fried. Maybe go, I don't know, for Thai food because it's a lot of fresh veggies. It's a lot of protein heavy meals, right? And
Mhm.
so we start taking those baby steps away from the plan, but enough to come back to the plan confidently until you can do it on your own, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. The last thing I kind of want to say here about eating out is some of you guys, right? I want you to keep this in mind. We've talked a lot about labels. We're going to bring that back to the eating out as well. There's a lot
Yes.
of great nutrition calculators online. I need you guys to understand this. A restaurant, even when we're talking about chains, right? Almost every single chain will have a nutrition calculator online.
Yep.
What you have to keep in mind is that nobody is in the kitchen making sure the chef is actually only using a tablespoon of oil.
Yes.
They are accounting for that when they do create the nutrition calculators online, but there is nobody actually monitoring it. So I would literally put money. I'm not going to talk in absolutes, but I would literally put money on the fact that your chefs are probably heavier handed with things like butter and oil. Why?
1000%.
Because that stuff tastes good. It makes your food taste good. The
And if
only
you
thing,
consistently eat at the same place, you'll notice, oh, a different chef is working
sometimes it's
today because your
different. Yeah.
portion comes out smaller on the plate. Like you cannot account for their actions, their
Yes.
portion control, their heavy-handedness.
Yeah, totally. But keep in mind, certain the things that are benefiting you the most about going out to eat. So let's say you order a steak, that's not changing size. It's always
Mhm.
going to be the same. You're not going to get a smaller portion of steak from one week to the next because that is what they're basing their price off of, right? So a kitchen is not going to give you 8 ounces when the menu calls for six because that would cost them more money.
Right.
So yeah, your protein sources are probably exactly what they claim to be, but all the hidden calories are likely going to be higher. So if you are going out to eat and you are saying, oh, but I should still be making progress because I'm using the nutrition calculator, but you're going out to eat 3, 4, 5 days a week, you are probably not going to be making as much progress as you think you are because the calories are going to be higher.
Yep.
Period. They are. So keep that in mind when you're going out to eat and you are using a nutrition calculator as well.
Yeah, because
Um,
that really actually that leads right into number five, which is eyeballing versus measuring. Because we're talking about a
yeah.
chef or a cook not
Yep.
being the one to be measuring something, right?
Yeah.
But are you also doing
Yeah. You get
that?
proof of your own life. So how much are you eyeballing? Because yeah, exactly. Same thing. There's nobody monitoring a chef in the kitchen and there's nobody monitoring you there either, right? It's not like you do have a coach over your shoulder being like, how much did you pour?
Yeah,
Like it's
32 grams, not 35.
yeah, yeah, but that makes a big honestly, that makes a big difference.
Yes.
Let's talk about that, right? Like here's the thing. I'm going to be honest with you guys. When I first started tracking, and even sometimes now I will be tempted to do this, right? I will, let's say I'm portioning up my rice. Okay. I'm supposed to be having, or I plan to have 45 grams, right? Like a one serving. And I pour out 50 grams. There are many times where I'm like, it's no big deal. I'm going to leave it. But no,
It is.
that's
Yeah.
going to add up, right? If you guys are having, let's just say 10 grams of carbs extra a day because you kind of are like, oh, whatever, it's a few grams. But you say it's a few grams, right? Like, oh, it's an extra 2 grams of carbs at breakfast, no big deal. And then it's an extra 2 grams of carbs at lunch and for your snack and for your dinner. And so by the end of the day, you've had 10 grams of extra carbs, but you've also kind of done that with fats. You know, you had an extra 2 grams because you had a little bit of extra butter or you poured a little bit of extra oil at lunch and then another 2 grams at dinner. So by the end of the day, you've had 10 grams of extra carbs and 5 grams of extra fats. And you do that every day over 7 days. Then guess what? At the end
That's
of the,
600 extra calories a week, you guys.
yep, yep,
600, 595 calories.
yep, because 10 grams of carbs, right? 1 gram of carb is 4 calories. So in one day, 40 calories doesn't sound like much.
Not, yeah.
But over 7 days, that's 280 calories. And fats, 5 grams of fat at the end of the day is 45 calories. Over 7 days, you put those fats and those carbs together, Like Nell said,
Boom.
it's 595 That's 600 calories. That's enough to take most of you out of your calorie deficit.
Yeah,
And
because
remember,
when you're effectively trying to lose weight, you don't want a huge calorie deficit because you
yeah,
want it to be sustainable. So I
yeah,
don't know about you, but I'm looking at maybe 300 to 400 to start. And that's a pretty big jump down for a lot of people when they start. You've already taken yourself out of that, and you
yep,
can't lose weight if you're not in that deficit. So that's undone right there. And
yeah.
that's not even eating out, right? That's just a few little extra bits here and there in your own cooking.
Yeah, yeah. And keep in mind, like, we're not talking 300 calorie deficit for the week. We are talking for, possibly for the day, depending on
Mhm.
the person. But still, right? If you're eating back 600 calories just from that, and then we add in those other things like the label being off on your food and you going out for some food,
Yeah, so
all of
let's
these
let's
things are
do the
adding
math. What is that? So 2 out of the 7 days a week, you're now eating maintenance. So you're not
up.
in a deficit.
Yep.
So that leaves you with what, 5 days left?
Days. Yep.
2 of those you go out, you run amok on the weekend. That
Yep.
leaves 3 days where you've been in a deficit, but you've
Yep.
already overeaten on the other days.
Yep.
So you're probably actually eating more than even maintenance for a lot of us. I know
Yep.
I was there. That's how I used to live my life.
Oh yeah, 100%. And then asking, why am I not making more progress?
Right. I work out all the time. I eat healthy. I've said these things. This list probably could have been me just saying things out loud.
100%, man, 100%. One of my favorite lines and something I have a very big conversation with a lot of my clients with is that most people could lose weight eating more than they realize, but most people also eat more than they realize. And so it doesn't apply anymore.
Yes, it's eating a lot versus eating a little, but
Yep.
it's high volume foods versus high calorie foods, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Um, So eyeballing your food is, or sorry, eyeballing your food, but kind of letting your actions slip is not going to serve you. It's going to add up way faster than you guys realize. And again, it's going to be I would actually say this is one of the biggest reasons.
Yeah,
Although we're making it the last one, we kind of did that because we really want you guys to think about that, because this is one that's completely in your control and you are letting slip. And that is going to make the biggest difference
hmm
in terms of what you're allowing to slip in your life and what you're allowing yourself to get away with. And therefore, you're not making good progress with. And like,
absolutely.
you could, I know lots of people who wind up eyeballing or getting to a place where they can kind of eyeball their food and be in a pretty good position, right? That's when we're kind of talking about like intuitive eating. But in order to get to a place where you are actually very good at intuitive eating, you need to spend time learning about food first. Now, maybe you do
Absolutely.
that through just like other food education, working with a coach, following a meal plan for a period of time, or tracking your macros. There's a ton of different ways you can learn about nutrients, food quantities, portion control, right? It's not just one way here, but until you actually spend the time learning, you are lying to yourself if you think you're going to actually understand what a serving size or what a good portion is. That's going to still allow you to continue to make progress.
Truly. And serving sizes are often individual, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm almost 6 feet tall. I'm a big girl. Like I just take up a lot of space in the world, you know?
Yes.
And so a serving size for me and what I currently need to eat during the day is going to be a lot different than someone in a different size body. And that's
Yep.
not to say like we can't eat the same amount, but if I'm eyeballing a portion out in a restaurant, say, I've been measuring for a very long time to the gram, it's
Mm-hmm.
going to look really different than a portion, say, even for you, Rusty, right? Like we're
Yeah.
eating for different goals currently, right?
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. So 5 reasons why you are not making progress, food habit addition. No matter that you do keep showing up, that you keep putting in work, we
And
want you
do
guys
keep
to get
those
that
things going. Don't
progress.
let that discourage you. Do keep
Mhm.
showing up. Do
Yeah.
keep putting in the work. But here's some tools that can help you put the work in and make it more functional, make
Yeah.
it more applicable to your goals.
Yeah. Why would you guys not want to get the most bang for your buck?
Absolutely.
A lot of people, right? If you, no matter if your goal is fat loss or it is, you're currently bulking, a lot of
Yes,
people
these
don't
tools
want to.
apply on both sides of the spectrum.
For sure. But a lot of people don't want to be in either of those phases for a long period of time. If you've ever done a bulk, it's going to get uncomfortable. When you do a cut, it's going to get uncomfortable. You want to get in, you want to be efficient, you want to come back out and go back to maintenance or go to your next goal or whatever it is. The more time you spend not showing up for yourself or justifying these little mistakes or just not taking actions that serve you, the longer you're going to be in each phase and the more frustrated you're going to get in the long run. So 5 things that aren't helping you. Yeah. We're going to do a part 2, like we said here. That's going to be our next episode. So 5 reasons you're not making progress, training edition, right? Because there's a lot of things that are happening in the gym that aren't contributing to our progress there either. We're going to make that its entire episode. But if you guys have any questions off of this, or if there was anything that really hit home with you, feel free to comment below or likewise share this on your social media. Tag us there. You can find me under coach.frizzle.
And I am there under coach.alana.nell. And it's just a lot of A's and L's and vowels.
We would love to know what you guys thought of today's episode, or again, if something resonated with you. And then come back next week for reasons you're not making progress training edition. And we're going to make sure that we are getting you guys, by the end of this 2-part series, more progress in a more efficient way.
Absolutely. And don't forget, if you love what you're hearing here, we love to see 5 stars, high fives, all the 5s.
5, baby. So yeah, feel free to leave us some love, guys. 5-star review would be greatly appreciated. And other than that, we will see you guys next time. Have a beautiful day, cousins.
Bye, guys.